Forever. Dog.
I am the number one most impactful artist of our generation. We the real rock stars, and I'm the biggest of all. I just told you who I thought I was. A god. I'm really happy for you. I'll let you finish. I am the number one most. I am the number one most impactful artist of our generation.
Repeat verse. I repeat, repeat verse. Don't at me. We going to mass today. We have to pray. Besides what the pastor say, I have to say, since Pac passed away, most you rappers don't even deserve a track from me. You see, if you ever wanted to ever be anything, there'll always be somebody that will shoot down any dream. There'll always be haters. That's the way it is. Hated niggas marry hated bitches that have hated kids. But you don't have to take my life or they take my drive, because I was barely living. That's what kept me alive. Just the thought that maybe it could be better. What at this time? Maybe I'm out of my grind, before I'm out of my mind. The leeway on that he say, she say. You'll get on like me, how long has she been gay? Spanish girls say no habla English. Everybody wanna run to me from they sing late. It's funny how these whack niggas need my help. Wasn't around when I couldn't feed myself. Dog, if I was you, I wouldn't feel myself. Dog, if I was you, I would kill myself. Made a meal myself, and I'm still myself. I'ma look in the mirror if I need some help.
Hey, what up, everybody? This is the Bookie A podcast. I'm Chris Daniels.
I'm Rob Hayes.
Happy anniversary to one of our favorite albums, Late Registration.
Yeah.
Doye looks very, very not ready for that verse. We gotta.
You do that every time?
I spit a verse every episode.
Some verses come more aggressively than others.
Yeah, that one was real hot.
Well, hey, when people tell you that, where's this passion in your stand-up? You live a more passionate life.
Who said that?
When people attack your art, and the whole reason that you do podcasts is to promote your art,
Who said that?
it kind of affects the way that you go about things.
Okay. Yeah, I totally get that. That sounds vaguely familiar, but I couldn't tell you who said anything.
Interesting.
Like that.
Interesting.
You guys, that voice you're hearing that you might not recognize is our guest for this episode, Mr. Yedoye Travis.
What's up? What's up, internet? What's up, everybody? How you doing?
Yedoye, if some of you might have followed Rob's exploits, you might know that
Exploits.
Yeah.
It was an exploit. I call it.
It was a setup. I was bum rush.
Rob recently was featured on Doye's his own podcast called Dark Tank.
Yeah. It wasn't supposed to be a setup for you.
Yeah, but see what happened was I was ambushed. You as a moderator went outside of being moderate, outside of being a neutral party.
I was a neutral party,
and you were
time.
attacking me. My fellow judge was attacking me. The contestant was attacking me, and it was a game show where somehow I was just fighting to get a sentence said, to just get a full sentence out there. I was cut off constantly, and all I'm trying to do is establish who I am. Look, you have a show, and you make it seem like it's inherent that everyone is anti-Kanye. You don't establish what the game is.
I believe I did.
And, all I tried to do was establish who, why would you get Rob Hayes if you don't want Rob Hayes?
I got Rob Hayes because I wanted some passion about Kanye, and that's what I got.
And then my stand-up is
energy
attacked. Not only am I
who attacked the stand-up?
Doye
attack
did,
anybody's
the
stand-up.
quote-unquote moderator.
I didn't
host.
attack anybody's stand-up.
All right. It's on tape.
Well,
It's on iTunes.
Can we roll the tape?
no,
It's
we
on- it's
we
on-
can't. Yay saying
the
you'll
tape?
have to, judge for yourselves, and if you feel you need to come to Rob's defense, they will activate.
I believe they will.
I appreciate
they
that Ye
will.
Sater is the most unstoppable force in the universe, but at the same time, I can hold my own against Doye. The problem is when people are yelling at me and I'm one
Rob
of
don't like to get
one
yelled
of
at.
four.
Yeah, no, I
and
didn't
I'm
do
one
any
of
yelling.
four. You know what I'm saying? Like it's everyone else is like yelling at me, and I can't get a word in.
I didn't do any yelling. I asked you questions. I asked you very direct questions.
No,
We could all people I just want to give a little bit of backstory of like, one of the reasons that we thought since Rob,
that's a good tool that you would do.
Yeah,
bring
please.
the
I
people
think-
in and let them know what's going on.
I think we
Don't
need
just
to-
have bickering on
I
your
think we gotta
podcast.
clarify the beef.
And not any context. That's very, very, very pro move of you.
well,
Chris.
let's let's give an example of how we do things in a respectful way on this podcast, because we
Yes.
have things we want to
Yes.
discuss, and we got a lot of different views.
Right.
Kanye resurfaced in a major way yesterday. He did a interview on, I believe, WGIC Chicago, a radio program on there. Probably one of the most like candid and definitely one of the longest interviews he's done in a while.
As long as fuck.
What was this? Just early, interpretations. What do you guys think?
I thought that it's an indication we're getting a different Kanye. First of all, Kanye had on shades. We hadn't seen shades on Kanye since 808's era. Kanye had a collar on. You know what I'm saying? In the recent Kanye has not worn a collar unless it's been a dress up occasion, and
The T-Pain's what?
sometimes those he hasn't worn a collar because it's been suit on chest.
Right.
Then also, he had on chains. Kanye was talking about GLC. There's a picture that surfaced with him, Bump J, GLC, really though. He said John Bonap is his manager now. It's Kanye, and it's full Chicago Kanye.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know. I can't speak on all that.
I agree.
Thought, oh wow. Maybe I shouldn't have come here. This energy is all wrong.
I don't understand. Why would you have a problem with me agreeing with you?
I don't know. It just seemed like it
You
came
said,
from a place.
I don't know.
It just
I
came
can't
from a
speak
dark
on
place.
anything.
I
Hey,
don't know.
You make a great point.
It just came from a difficult place, I
What
think.
we're looking for is your take. Don't even energies will align.
Okay, well, what I took away from it was the apology, the attempted apology, which I just felt like it was weird. I felt like the whole thing was weird.
The whole interview?
The whole interview was weird because Kanye interviews are weird, I think. So I think it was normal in that sense. But like, I feel like the way he apologized and the way she started crying after the apology, man, that really bummed me out because I feel like it wasn't justified. I feel like she didn't need to go to that place because it wasn't a full apology.
I don't agree with that at all.
Well, hold up. Before you do that, I'm gonna give my take.
Yeah.
Because I think it's.
We were talking about initial. I think we like.
I know we'll get into the specifics
okay.
but I will say that taken from kind of both y'all a little bit, I think that yes, there are signs that is a newly reinvigorated Kanye, which gives hope, and yes, I feel that there's also some things that I don't want to use the word negative because I feel like this interview especially got into a lot of areas that frankly I don't think like we can definitely like dive into. I just don't think we're like that qualified. But I do think there are things that you can examine. There's certain contradictions and there's certain things that you kind of, give pause. But I feel like if you look at the whole thing, the big picture, there's a lot that, you kind of, it's not even about sympathizing and empathizing. It's just about, it kind of feels like connecting. Because for me, I can see that interview and I can see like the attempt on his part, not even just, I'm not talking about apology. I'm talking about how he would attempt to be like, yo, slow this down, make it concise. You could tell he wasn't trying to just, he was trying to do the service of at least giving responses.
Yeah, I did
like,
appreciate that.
While you can have a debate about how much accountability he's given himself to certain areas, that's up for debate. But I do think he did try to do a correct service in giving us something that was, controlled, concise, and focused.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they're asking him multiple questions at the same time. They're like, are you influenced by the Kardashians, Jimmy Kimmel, MAGA hat, blah, blah, blah. All at one time, he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let me just answer the things.
I think that comes when you get, when you have so many sound bites piling up.
Yeah, I definitely, and I feel like your instinct when somebody takes a long pause like that is to think, oh, he's stumped or something like that. But I mean, if you got to take your time, you got to take your time. I respect that. I feel like, I will say, he seemed the happiest he's seemed in a long time. I think as much as I don't like the stuff he's been saying lately, like, do what you got to do for your mental health. I appreciate that. He's smiling and shit.
I like that he didn't do a complete 180 and just negate everything that he said. I love that he said, I'm not blaming mental health. I'm just explaining mental health. He's not saying that, hey, I'm blaming my bipolarness for what I said, just for how I said it. And I can respect that. When he got into in a little, he did give a great apology for, I feel like, the slavery comment. And I feel like he was explaining, where he was coming from, but he was sorry that he acknowledged that it didn't come out the way that he wanted to. And then also something that I have been repeatedly saying on the podcast,
what?
He did not say slavery was a choice. He said slavery sounds like a choice. What I have been saying since it happened, since May.
But like, that sounds like a strong opinion to just be like, to just throw that up in the air to people's interpretation. I feel like if you gotta have a real hard line stance on that.
I think that's one of the hazards of being Kanye at this point.
Well, yeah. I feel like at some point you have to acknowledge where you can be misinterpreted. And I understand like the bipolar shit, and he says things not in ways that he may not intend. But at a certain point, you can't be blaming other people. And the problem that I had with the apology, and I appreciate that he did it, but the problem I had with it was that every time he said, I'm sorry, it was, I'm sorry you felt that way, or I'm sorry that's how you interpreted it, or I'm sorry it affected you in that way.
I think it's twofold. I think, yes, I kind of agree with that, but I also kind of think that as he understands that he's dealing with issues, he understands that his issues or his bipolar disorder or his ramped up, activity, I think he recognizes like, oh, this shit, it's not all cool all the time. It can harm people.
Oh yeah.
So definitely. It's like, I think I don't want to excuse it completely, but I also have to give some credit. It's like
no. And when he said, there's one thing he got me. He said where he just said he didn't want to say it till after the election because he didn't want to influence it. I was like, okay, I appreciate that. So you at least are aware that you have that power.
Yeah,
he's well aware.
And we've talked about that. We've said at least he didn't say this during the election. You know, he's actually raised money for the Democratic Party prior to the election. And I think that it's just, when it comes to the slavery is a choice comment, slavery, sounds like a choice. I feel like that is, he was misquoted, and for him to accept the fact that, if society wants to take what he said as that's what he has to deal with, is owning up to it.
True.
And
I don't know if he was misquoted.
He was
misquoted.
How is he not misquoted when he said one thing and then they put another thing in a headline and they run with another thing?
They also put the video up.
Is another thing.
They also just put the video up.
That's a pretty accurate quote. Up.
But we know how people.
It's not accurate.
I know how people are.
How is it accurate if it's wrong?
If they just put the video up, you could see what he said.
Yeah, but when people repeat what he said, they're not saying what's in the video.
I think it's because
he was misquoted by Twitter, but not by
regardless of whether. Yes, a lot of headlines ran with the misquote. The hashtag that was trending, which is also hilarious, was a misquote.
Yeah.
But at the same time, even slavery sounds like a choice. It's super insulting.
Yeah.
It's still what it is.
But it it was
I know.
400 years. Sounds like a choice.
Yeah, but people actually
It wasn't
people
like-
went through those 400 years.
Yeah, I understand that. But at the same time, you know, sounds like doesn't mean that it was. Sounds like means like, what is he getting at? When he says 400 years, that sounds like a choice. He's talking about the psychological element of slavery.
Yes, the
We've talked
simulation.
about this before.
Yes,
We've
but-
talked about how, you know,
but
when
then there's
you're in middle
actual
school,
slavery.
when you're in middle school and you learn that there was a point where the slaves outnumbered the masters, when the slaves outnumbered the oppressors at a certain point in the 1800s, your first reaction is, well, then why did this keep going? That is your first reaction. And then that's when you are taught about the psychological element of slavery. That's what he was getting at. That's what he was getting towards, but he was never able to make that connection because of the harsh reaction to what he said. And he realizes that harsh reaction and he apologized for that because of how that affected people. If you are trying to make a point and in the middle of your point, you say something that throws people so far off of what you're trying to say, and you acknowledge that, I can't get mad at that. I can't get mad at that.
But you can also acknowledge that he did make a note in this interview where he pretty much alluded to the fact that he wished that people were there to make sure that this whole thing didn't even happen.
That's what
Yeah.
he said, but I feel like that was like another point where he was more, you know, it's like he was bigging up
He literally
Don
said
C.
he could have stopped it, as in
Yeah.
stopped, as in not happen.
Well, yeah, because I feel like if he says, "Hey, I'm about to go to TMZ," Don's gonna be like, "What you going to TMZ for?" Not, "All right, let me get my shoes, let me get my bag, let's go." You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that, you know, I think you know, we're thinking of it of a literal thing, but I don't think it's really more him. I don't think it's him bigging up Don as much as him saying the people that were around me, the Corey Gambles, the Denim Tears, those people were not looking out for the best interests of Kanye. And this is the first time that Kanye acknowledges Kanye, the entity, which we have talked about on this podcast, that there's a whole team of people that makes up Kanye, that Kanye is not just one person. And that there's people around Kanye. This is the first time that he expresses Kanye as Kanye the entity, and there were people who were not looking out for the individual's best interests.
That's the first time we got that, though. Even because a lot of people have said that.
Yes, a lot of people have said that, but I don't know of too many artists outside of documentaries that have said that. I don't know of too many people in interviews who have said that and talked about like
their team
the
of people?
ramifications of having of
Yeah,
you know.
part. That's what I'm talking about. Because like when the whole thing happened and GLC was out there on yo, you gotta save Kanye, and people were like, "What is happening?" Because everybody was
Yeah.
like, if you know Kanye's history, that you know, he's a huge member of the team. So if he's
Yeah.
like this, you know, and everybody's been like,
Then like what happened? Yeah.
what happened? How do we fix this? And like, you know, these things happen behind the scenes, but like Rob talked about earlier, like, you know, they seem to have connected, they seem to have talked, like these are, but you know, you don't really get him admitting and giving you kind of the necessary behind the scenes of like, okay, this is what I needed, this is who I was missing, and things like that.
I love when he talked about initially that, you know, he's not a facts guy. He is a leader. You know, leaders aren't the people who are concerned with the facts, or the people who organize people
That part bothered
based on
me.
their talents.
That part
But
bothered
But I
me a
don't
lot.
think he was talking about those sound bites, those comments. I think he was just talking about, you know, how he operates as an artist, how he operates as, you know, a creator.
I mean, I understand that musically because like you're not gonna know how to play every instrument or sing every part,
Yeah.
especially as a producer. I get that.
Or
But,
with
like,
design, he's not the best
Yeah,
drawer,
but he has ideas.
he has ideas.
Yeah.
And other people are, you know.
and I get that part, but then when his ideas become things like, I mean, just everything we've been talking about, obviously. When you talk about not being a facts guy, I'm just like, then don't speak on it. You don't have to speak on everything. And I understand he has a big platform, but you don't have to speak on like slavery being a choice and all this stuff. Just whether you support Donald Trump or not, I'm just like.
I mean, I think that his thought process was more about the prison industrial complex. And if you think about what he was talking about earlier in the interview with talking to people who are actually in prison and now working for, 80 cents a day,
I get that. I agree with you.
And when we see him with Bump J, who was locked up most of, we see him in MTV Diary of Kanye West. And then we don't see him again until like in the past couple years because he was locked up for a long time. I feel like that is, that could be one of the people he was talking to. That could be what he was getting at is prison reform, and if you think about what Kim Kardashian was doing, the fact that they're talking to him about Trump, they're talking to him about his alignment with Trump. I feel like, that might have been what he was getting at, but all of that got lost because of, the severity of his example.
Well, if that's where it got lost, then he had a perfect opportunity to set the record straight.
I think
We
watched an hour interview.
I don't think you did.
I don't think we can take everything you just said and put that on top of the interview. Not
How?
not fully.
I think
a lot of that you can't.
Sway?
Shut up. Only so much can you say. Well, this is what he actually was trying. We can do that to a certain point because
you know what?
Well,
go watch the Charlemagne interview. Go watch this interview. When I have speculated in the past, I have been very, very accurate. So go back.
Same shit.
But I'm telling you,
go back.
Look
at the record.
He gave.
Sounds like a choice.
He gave.
I said it the next freaking day. The next freaking day.
That's one thing, but I'm trying to connect these two kind of competing points.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean
here.
to dark tank you.
Don't yell at me, dog.
Is that
okay?
a term now?
Kids, don't you? If somebody yells at you,
Dark Tank is a reputable podcast.
Hey man, on your own time. Anyways, while I don't think Kanye is obviously I don't think Kanye is like championing ignorance or anything like that, but if you're not going to be a facts guy and you're only going to let spirit lead you and not read and necessarily get all the proper news, maybe you should. Yes, you are going to be ignorant in some areas. Now you take the whole leader thing. That's when I could totally see, you say stuff like that, why Steve Jobs is such a huge dude. Cause that's literally Steve Jobs was that kind of leader. He didn't know what
he was doing.
But he hired the best. He hired the dudes. He hired the guys who built Apple and Pixar and things like that.
He didn't know is exaggerated.
He
knew. There was a time period where he did know. There was a time period where he was.
He doesn't. I'm talking about the place that get built without it.
He transitioned that into an empire.
He knew what needed to happen. He didn't know how to do it. He didn't know how it needed to happen.
You needed the people who are the specialists.
But there are also decisions that Steve Jobs made where it's like, okay, the reason that Apples have the fonts that they have is because of the novels.
And we're not arguing that, but I'm saying like he also had a
decisions that he made. He constantly said, Bill Gates doesn't have taste. There's a reason why Microsoft product doesn't look like Apple product.
That's not what I'm talking about right now.
He's a product guy. He makes product.
He's not an Apple man. He's an Apple man.
The same way that concept can give you a $1 billion company, it can give you a bunch of classic albums. That can also, if you're gonna be that way, that can also get you aligning with some people who are straight up ignorant as well.
Yeah. I think as far as the prison industrial complex, I think he is on that track. He's leaning toward that track, and I think he does have strong feelings about it, but I think he's skipping a lot of steps in his process.
But that's where he gets to. That's the thing. That's probably one of the things where I think. All right, I think that's a good phrase for exactly what I think. A lot of the mentality Kanye West has and is afforded, where he says things like, stop saying that my people, is to try to say our people because we're all one race. Yes, that is true, and yes, we all. That was a human creation. It was a concept of race, and it has been implied horribly.
And GLC knows the specific day.
GLC,
go bring GLC.
Once we get GLC on the book,
he knows when to have it.
He'll let you know exactly because you're not into fact shit. But I'm saying like he can skip those kind of steps because he's not necessarily as affected as a lot of people are. And I think he realizes that, but I also think that the big picture in his mind is so big and he wants it so much that, you know, he can't, you know, he's like, I'm on about new problems. I don't want the same old problems. Those same old problems are the same old problems that everybody else may have to deal with, but he wants the new ones.
Did you notice the parallels between this interview and the Van Lathan interview? Where it got to the point where like Kanye was like, "Can I have a hug?" And Van was like, "I don't want no hug. I want you to do better." You know what I'm saying? And then he's on WGCI and he's like, "Can I have a hug?" He's just like, "Yeah, we're family. We can have a hug." You know, like.
Oh man! All right, let's take a step back because there's one thing that I think we all would love to talk about, and I hope I'm not wrong about this.
I'm glad Kanye made something off the Lift Yourself beat because Drake went and came up with.
How'd you know I was going to Drake?
Scoop diddy whoop, whoop dee scoop dee whoop, whoop diddy scoop doop, scoop dee whoop, poop, poop, poop. Come on, man. Drake never will come up with something that creative ever.
Rob stole my whole intro into the topic. And for that,
he threw an alley-oop.
I feel like Drake could have done it.
For that,
That's just me.
You get this.
Silence.
Nah, check your phone.
It's on radio. Now we gotta cut this out. Thanks
No, you
a lot.
don't. No, you don't.
The hell is this?
I sent you a very important message.
Oh, you sent me a purple demon? Why would you do that? I don't want that kind of energy, man. I don't play like that. I don't play like that. Okay, my family don't play like that. We don't play like that.
Yeah,
Why would you send me a purple demon emoji, man?
I don't think it's anything more ridiculous than Drake being mad. I think, yes, you can be mad because maybe you really wanted a song to get Drake. But to be like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to text some demon emojis every day.
Right.
He sent them every day?
I don't think Kanye got mad about one demon emoji. I don't know the frequency, but it was definitely more than one.
Nah, I don't think Drake texts that often. So I think like their thread is not that. So like it's like, oh, I got a text from Aubrey, and then you open it up and it's like purple demon emoji.
Scoopity scoop.
Whoopty scoopty boop scoopty whoop.
Poop scoop.
Ebro got to be mad. He was like, he thought that was about him.
What?
The whole poop.
Well, I think he put that out, and then I think it was about Ebro, but you know, I think that let's not act like Drake has not done this to people.
Done what
Done
specifically?
Gotten a beat from Diddy.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking
and
about.
then put it out as his song.
But he
we
didn't-
go 0 to 100 real quick. That's supposed to be Diddy's comeback.
He didn't poopity scoop it though.
Lift
Imagine-
Yourself was supposed to be.
It was
Diddy's
apparently
comeback?
Drake wanted the beat,
Oh, okay.
but Drake also stole the beat from Diddy, and Diddy got slapped for it.
Come on, man. Kanye is a huge Bad Boy fan, man. Mace is his favorite rapper. How do you know that Kanye didn't just do that for Diddy?
I mean, I don't know, but now it's in the universe.
Yeah.
Poop.
Now it's
Diddy whoop.
No,
It's in there. Whoop Diddy scoop. Poop. Come on, man. We decoding this now, dog.
Is the
Diddy's
poop- is the
name.
poop supposed to
Diddy's
represent the
name
slap?
is in Lift Yourself.
what is the scoops though?
What do you mean? What is the scoop?
What is the scoop?
It's when
First of
I'm
all,
just like,
in Wyoming, man. Okay, there was some kind of shovel situation. That's why every album there's a scoop. There's a couple scoops on Ye. You know what I'm saying? You get a scoop on Daytona's got some scoops. You know what I'm saying? There's no scoops on Keep That Same Energy because she wasn't in Wyoming.
hold up. Where
Kid
is
See
Raisin
Ghost got
Bran
a
from?
scoop. Huh?
Where is Raisin Bran from?
That's two scoops.
Two scoops.
That's two scoops. Every album didn't have two scoops.
I like Raisin Bran Crunch.
Yeah.
This is just.
I'm not a
notch.
Raisin Bran fan.
I think it was one.
don't like
was
it.
it one scoop on Kid
It
See
used to
Ghost?
be-
They just got one scoop.
It's on Ghost Town.
Yeah.
I think it's one scoop. It could be wrong. GLC will get in here and explain the whole thing.
Come on, he knows the timeline, man. He knows the facts. I you know what? I used to listen to GLC. I ain't never heard him talk about facts and history. He mainly talk about pimping and Church player on the move. I'm not denying it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not denying it. You know, shout out to GLC.
You think he was like, hey, you gotta spit this verse. He takes off his glasses like, back in the booth.
Church player on the move. I love
Yeah.
GLC. And Really Dope, you know, was
Shout
in
out
the
to Really
mix.
Dope.
Shout out to
What up,
Really
Really
Dope.
Shout out to Monique.
Former
What up?
podcast guest. Shout out to Monique. Shout out to
I give the shout outs to Monique.
What's up, Monique?
No, I mean,
Nah, dog, that's
No,
definitely
I
not
wanna-
go fly.
yeah, I met
just
Monique
said, what's
from
up?
the
That's
Queens of Comedy.
That's my mind. Fuck
I'm
you.
just saying.
Shout out to all the Queens of Comedy. Shout out to Adele Givens. Shout out to Laura Hayes.
Monique's my mom. I give shout outs.
Okay.
Rob sometimes tries to play too many games, but I don't play that. That's why he gets the demon emojis. Every time he says something.
Yo,
About
Monique
that.
gets that wink
Hold up,
emoji.
how do you have beef with me and y'all are doing all this nonsense?
Because
Huh?
we know
Talk
each
about his
other,
mom.
man.
I know you.
You don't
I
know,
know
me
you.
like that.
I know, man. Come on,
Come on, man.
come on, Rob.
What
Hey,
is
man. Nah, man, because see, Doye started comedy in Atlanta. And I
Yeah.
was already a fixture in Atlanta comedy when Doye started. I felt like, you know what I'm saying, this past podcast experience was very disrespectful as his OG. I feel like he shouldn't.
You're
he
like a
shouldn't treat
year
me like
older
that.
than me, Rob.
I'm not a year older than you in
You're like
comedy.
2 years older than me. How old are you?
That's a long time in Atlanta comedy.
It
How-
sounds like the interview got last OG, where Doye tried to ask about something, and Rob tried to bring up craft services, and
Let's
And
talk
then-
about craft services.
Did y'all have grievances to air out over here? About craft
oh
service?
man, we stupid callbacks.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
callback to something that didn't happen on the podcast. People was just lost. Hey man, I don't know, man. I think part of where Kanye loses people is when he gets upset with Drake about being on the radio all the time. But I had this thought the other day. If In My Feelings was on 808s, like if Kanye had a big smash hit that was like on the radio all the time, you know, like not like Heartless, but like, you know, like just like the monster that In My Feelings is
If he had
on
a-
808s.
if he had a meme.
Would people's idea of 808s be different? Because I feel like In My Feelings has saved Scorpion from ridicule and like people like really dissecting that double album.
I don't think you're wrong there.
Do people have like a negative feeling about 808s? I don't think they do.
They did at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's either the one or two in like my favorite Kanye albums now. But when it first came out, I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
And I don't think In My Feelings can exist without 808s existing. So I think when Kanye comes to the radio station, if it's like most big black radio stations, he probably hears In My Feelings twice in the waiting room.
You could tell you could tell the way he kept bringing it up in the interview.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
could tell that one he likes it.
Yeah. He's like, are you writing?
And two, that he just calls it Kiki's.
Yeah.
And but you can also like he talked about, this is like the third or fourth time we've heard him talk about like, I'm sick of like, this is the radio and it's like Drake over and over
Yeah.
again. Before it's Drake
Yeah.
and DJ Khaled, I was like, yeah, here come to Chicago, I heard 3 Drake songs, no Kanye songs.
But they play All Mine.
They play all mine.
They do.
Which
Yo,
I
shout
still
out-
don't get, by the way.
Shout
like-
out to Leon Rogers, man. One of the most funny comedians in Chicago. Super funny. Look him up. I don't really know how much he does outside of Chicago, but he's hilarious. And I know he does do stuff outside of Chicago. But he's on that radio morning show. And it was fun watching his face that entire interview because, you know, when Kanye would say certain things, you know, especially when he was talking about the sandals and stuff, I could just see like the wheels turning in Leon Rogers. And I just wish we could like hear from him afterwards. I know he probably would not, you know, just out of respect for Kanye in Chicago and stuff, would not, you know, just like, but I really wish I could hear what he had to say about that.
I feel, because of the way the sandals were brought up, the slides were brought up, I really feel like I don't think this interview even really happens without the kind of reaction to the slides. I feel like the
Yeah.
slides, like I'm not joking. The way he kept saying, like, and now I gotta fucking make sure the slides are the right size. I'm like, yo, the slides pushed him over the edge. No pun intended. But it seemed like of all the. I'm not saying it was the major thing. I'm saying it was like the needle.
He's making an album with Chance in Chicago.
I know that.
That
don't mean you got to do an interview.
He was out yesterday. He went to the Gucci store. I mean, the day before, and I feel like he's back with John Manop. That's probably a big factor. Don C's coming back. There's all these people who were in his circle before. I feel like he was gonna come. The radio is just part of it. Now, maybe the slides might have been something. Maybe he heard them talking about the slides on the radio or something. But at the same time,
I felt like it was a weirder mistake than the slavery thing. Even it was weird.
Come on, they weren't a mistake. I don't
know.
Mistake?
It felt like
I already went in on a
Where's the
slide.
mistake?
Did you?
Where's the mistake?
Man,
what else did it? Name
it
something else somebody had on it. 2 Chainz wedding.
First of all,
you can afford the
he
right
makes
size,
the slides.
right?
It's not afford the slides. He makes the slides.
So
where's
why
the
not?
mistake?
So where do you get? How do you get the wrong size?
What do you mean? How you get the wrong size?
I just want to know.
Kanye wears an 11. Sample size is a size 9. What are you talking about?
So yeah, obviously. Okay,
Sample
so you
size
can get
is a 42.
So you can
he
get
wears a 44.
size 9. Yeah. But like, why?
What do you
I
mean?
just want to know why.
How many sandals do you make? How many sandals do you sell?
I don't make sandals, so I don't wear sandals. What are we doing?
What is
this?
After the slide moment, the slides were sold out. They was on the shelves before. You could get slides any day you wanted to. Now you can't get no slides.
Because people knew if they didn't buy them
now, they would be stuck with the wrong size.
Interesting.
Don't even do this. Don't do this. Don't do that.
Exactly. That's my point exactly.
All right. I feel like we can get to our usual questions.
I have to clear something up.
What's up?
Yeah.
I was not okay. I was at the Jay-Z and Beyonce concert, where the guy jumped on stage and attacked Jay-Z, but that wasn't me. There's people that have been texting me like, "Was that you?" No, it was not me.
Oh man, that would
the section I was in. If I would have ran on stage, I would have had to start running when DJ Khaled was up there. 'Cause they were in front of 80,000 people. I was behind 80,000 people. There's no way I would have made it to the stage. I couldn't have made it to the bathroom in the time that dude got up there. Also, that dude had on a Drew Brees jersey, and I think that the people of Atlanta need to ban people who are fans of the Saints from Mercedes-Benz Arena. Stadium.
That's fair. Also, if you're gonna do, clearly he didn't plan on getting away because that's
about for soccer games. They don't have a New Orleans soccer team.
We talking about.
It's not New Orleans. It's just Saints fans coming and acting a fool. You know.
I'm not. I just know. I know.
It's
Saints
called
and
On the
Falcons got
Run,
beef,
not
but
Run on Us.
I know.
But I ain't in it.
Also, Jay-Z performed "Click." He also performed "Niggas in Paris" twice, and it's like, come on, man, you ain't hurt me with the first one, but the multiple. That's when I was like, I'm
that
hurt.
Was supposed
I
to be a
sit
special
down.
thing,
man.
Come on, man. And they had a movable stage, but that being said, it was a great concert. Beyonce is amazing.
Jill Scott loved it.
I still like it's one of the best concerts I've ever seen. They had a guitar player, they had a full band, they had dancers. Hey man, it was dope. It was dope. The cinematography on the cutscenes, like I've never seen concert cutscenes that entertaining in my life. It was like I want to watch this movie. I want to see why they're on the run. Like I see they're running, and I see they slap a man with
Just don't spoil it.
You think they're gonna put it on HBO again? HBO.
I don't know. They
do?
might. I think Beyonce has a deal with Netflix.
I do.
Okay.
Every time I see a video, I do always see like a fucking crew working.
Yeah,
They
right.
had credits at the end. At the end of the concert, like credits were coming up on the jumbotron. I was like,
Beyonce
wait,
and
were
Jay-Z
we
will
at
return.
the taping?
Yo, hold up. What if it's part of Obama and Michelle Obama's
Oh shit, you're right.
Netflix situation?
Hey man,
Look, I'm just putting that out in the universe. I feel like that would be kind of dope.
Not a bad theory. It makes sense.
Yeah.
The major players are there.
Yeah.
But
everybody's converging on the same point.
we gotta, because we're in up on like 40
Spider-Man.
minutes. So every episode of podcast, every guest we ask, what was your introduction to Kanye West?
My intro to Kanye West was, I feel like it was around, it was Jesus Walks. I was in like middle school as the first Kanye song I ever heard. And I think it was around the time when like my dad really liked Black Eyed Peas too. So just like that kind of music was everything he would ever like. If it
the
came,
artist.
like if it,
I was like, yo,
yeah,
right there, like Black Eyed Peas.
That's one of the
Yeah.
things. That's a requirement. on
yeah,
the
that
plate.
is
yeah.
unique.
Yeah.
Black dad liking Black Eyed Peas.
yeah, it was weird. I remember when "Where's the Love" came on the radio. He turned it up and he said, "Listen up, you might learn something."
Oh
It was a
no.
very
Not
dad
from
move.
Fergie and Justin Timberlake. Oh Lord.
Yeah.
No wonder Doye is the way he is.
Yeah,
Oh,
This
God.
explains a lot.
yeah, it came out weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like roughly around that period of my life, I heard Jesus Walks for the first time, and I grew up in a Nigerian house, so we listened to religious music all the time. So he said, "You talk about God, my record won't get played." I was like, "They play God records all the time in my house. What are you talking about?" I was like, "That's all I listen to.
Turn
That's all
on
I
the
ever
gospel
heard."
station. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like,
That's
what?
hilarious.
You heard of Kirk Franklin? Like,
So were you all in from the beginning?
no, I was not. I was like, I was a fan of the first album, but I've just never been good at like keeping up with music. And then when I went to high school, I didn't like I went to a very white high school, so I didn't like having white kids tell me what rap music to listen to. So I just kind of shut down for a few years. Just
I've been
didn't
in that
listen to
trap
anything.
before.
Yeah. And so
When you say you shut down, you didn't listen to music at all. You what were you listening to?
I just listened to like whatever else I could find, like whatever people weren't trying to push on me. It's like it just felt like
Be specific. We
I
asked everybody what they would listen to around that time.
was listening to I think TV on the Radio is probably my favorite band at the time. Yeah.
You know what? I see that.
Yeah.
I get that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I just saw them a couple years ago in LA, and it was one of the dopest shows I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tunde cannot. His voice was fucked up by the end of the show. I don't know if he. I don't know why he does that to himself, but the passion, I feel it. It's dope.
He feels passion from him. Interesting.
I do. He just, just real high energy performance, and I like that.
Okay, so all right, let's try to make this connection. So what made you? That's your backstory on Kanye. What made you choose? Oh, the song that we're gonna do. It's Ultralight Beam, but it's not like Ultralight Beam from Life of Pablo. It's Stormzy's cover.
Yeah.
On BBC One Extra.
Yeah.
We on the ultralight beam. We on the ultralight beam. This is a girl dream. This is a girl dream. This is Yo, yeah, yo. They told me that by this time it would all be over. But I ain't running out of luck, I treat the game like poker. I know they put me on the poster just to match the quota. I'd rather be a Lionel Messi than a Frankie Zola. Cause these old guys are washed and they're just getting older. And I ain't sending for the legends, that was for the Cobras. Who move sour like I ain't been trying to spread the culture. And put my heart into this game like I'm some flipping donut.
Yeah. I just heard probably like a month ago.
Did you hear that before you heard? Oh, so
No. I heard Ultralight Beam before. I don't know why, like when or how I heard it. I think I just like played the original, and then just all these covers came up. So I heard like Harry Styles cover and just this other very.
I would have been out of that. I would have been like, no, give me.
I was in a compromised position. I was in the bathroom or something, and then another white ass cover of it came on, and then Stormzy's cover of it came on, and I had just been like, I think I'd been listening to like Skepta or something like that. This other like
You know, it's so
UK
funny.
grime shit.
I got them confused, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to have so many good Naomi Campbell tangents, and then I'm going to work in Michael Jackson's birthday with the Keep Him in the Closet video, and then I was like, oh, Stormzy and Skepta are two different people.
Yeah. And it's weird because I don't really know Stormzy's music that well, but I thought that cover was dope.
He was on stage when they performed all day at the British Brit Awards, you know, with the flamethrower and Taylor Swift dancing in the audience and Lionel Richie like looking like they destroyed the world.
He was on an episode of Chewing Gum, which is
wow,
that was fun. Yeah.
Is Stormzy on all day, or is that somebody else? That's somebody else.
Who? You might have to jog my brain for this. Like we. Oh, okay. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I'm gonna get in trouble. The ACs are gonna curse me out for that. They're gonna be like, you know for a fact that is blank.
I mean,
Sam for some shit.
It's funny because I don't know what it is. I will easily admit maybe my ear is just not adjusted properly or sophisticated enough, but I can't do British rappers, man.
Yeah,
I just don't. I don't know how everything.
I mean,
Yo, that was,
man's not hot.
That actually might be the inspiration for Whoopty Scoop.
Pop out the 4-4 with my 4-4. It was 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Oh
Quick
my
mouth.
God! All right. No,
Chilling in the corridor.
Your dad is 44.
all right. I'm
and
gone.
he's still calling
I'm
man
out.
for a draw.
I don't know what it is.
Let him know.
Everything sounds like Tea and
Wanna
Crumpets
see him?
to me. Stop it.
I'm gonna spin his jaw.
Yeah, there's like, there's elements of this where I'm like, yo, I mean, you trying to talk about the struggle, but I don't know, these specific foods that you talking about are not making me feel the struggle. Corona with Henny and a Coke. Like, wait, you got Hennessy? Like that's not the struggle.
That shit is fancy.
You know what I'm saying? Like that,
You can't order that at the bar without extreme confidence.
Yeah. That's so much surface area.
You gonna spend double digits on your drinks? That's not the struggle to me. No curly fries. Like, wait, don't curly fries cost more than regular fries?
That's a
surface area.
That's like something you would ask your mom, and she'd be like, "Hell no, you ain't getting no curly fries."
Yeah, I don't have that extra 50 cents.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like when you go to London, you definitely see like the black area, and it definitely reminds you of like rough black areas over here, and there are a lot of similarities, except for all the kids got like uniforms. But other than that,
I feel weird about like seeing a British cipher, because like how do all of y'all have a tracksuit on? You all can afford a tracksuit?
Hey, we got a lot of listeners in London. I would like to apologize for some of the ignorance that you have heard.
I admit
like,
ignorance.
We've never crossed y'all before, and if we would love to hear.
I love John
who's
Boyega.
nice. Like,
he's great.
We'd love to hear good rappers from there. We'd love to hear, like we got some suggestions, some stuff you like. You know what? Y'all listen to the most mainstream people out here. You don't even know who we got out here. Like send them our way.
I would love suggestions, but I would also
Drake,
like
what's that Drake song with the dude KMT? I like that
KMT.
song. Gigs, that's his name.
If we heard people doing this to America, we'd be pissed.
We would be
pissed.
We'd be
real
like,
mad.
yeah, American rappers like Flo Rida and MC Hammer and French Montana and stuff.
Hold on, how many American rappers are featured on like grime tracks though?
I don't know.
I haven't seen it.
Hey man.
I mean, I'm sure. I mean, I would not be surprised if it crossed over. I'm just saying it might take me a while. Like the whole performance I saw, it was like a dope performance. That the band that was playing was what that was.
The band killed it.
That was amazing.
No, they were great.
The choir behind it, like the whole group, the singer, everything was dope.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
once
shout out
you
to
go in your
Kelly
head,
Price.
it's just like the Titanic's going down, like in my ear.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I like a
I'm gonna get in
British.
trouble for this.
Do you remember that thing, that concert Kelly Price had where she sang "As We Lay"? And all the like church people who thought she was just gonna sing like church music got pissed.
Oh.
Well, anyway, shout out to Kelly Price. These people really did, they did her justice. And I love how British people, like when they sing, they don't sound British anymore.
the rappers definitely still sound British. I feel like I don't know.
I
I
say
feel
when
like,
singers sing. Anyway,
okay. Oh. All right, now we're doing semantics.
No, let's get back on track.
I feel like they still sound British sometimes. I feel like the Beatles don't sound British, but
the
like,
Beatles don't sound British.
I feel like now I think more of them do.
Oh, think like Estelle definitely sounds British.
Yeah. James
What? When she sings, "Hello from the Other Side,"
Georgia Smith
not-
sounds British as fuck.
Sam Smith don't sound British. Marsha Ambrosius don't sound British.
She doesn't sound British.
James Blake,
Junior don't sound British.
James Blake definitely sounds
Mama
British.
used to say,
James Blake
"Take your
definitely sounds
time,
British.
young
James
man.
Blake and like Sampha.
Yeah,
Live your life."
it's a mixed bag when it comes.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: even if I can tell you're British when you're singing, I feel like some of my favorite Kareem Bailey Ray.
Oh yeah. I was so surprised that you put that as one of your favorite albums, but at
Yeah,
the same
that's
time, I was like, that is a solid choice.
I've been trying to chase her around the world to see her live.
Y'all know,
Beds.
do y'all fuck with Leanne La Havas?
She's great. I listen to Midnight like every day.
Yo, I'm in love with her.
I feel like maybe it's just the singers I mess with, and I still got to come around to the rappers.
Yeah, man.
Fucking
Yeah.
Kate Bush. Come
I
on,
feel like
man.
if I just
we got a whole
knew,
list.
if I just knew like what their slang was, I would be.
That is another thing. Because sometimes I'm
Me
like,
and my mandem.
I don't know what you said.
With the mandem.
Oh yeah, what's Amanda?
A mandem is like you. It's like your crew.
Oh, okay.
It's like me and them.
I need some flashcards.
Me and them.
Okay.
I learned that yesterday looking at the looking at the Genius page.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That might have to be a deep dive into. I saw the
Yeah.
lyrics. I didn't go into the deep dive on like what every lyric meant. I was just like,
Yeah, me
Yeah,
neither.
it was like I don't know. It's all about like him not wanting to sign with a label. It's like it's weird because like I feel like I like the cover and I like that he did a new verse. He did his own verse. Because when I saw he was doing a cover, I was like, I know this nigga can't sing. But also, I feel weird when rappers just do other rappers' verses. I don't see it very often, but it feels like a weird thing to do. And so I respected that. But then it, like, all the religious aspects of it, which I personally am not a religious person, but I feel like religious music is some of the best music a lot of the time.
yeah.
Okay.
But he took the whole religious element out of it, aside from like saying this is like a blessed day and shit like that. But it's all about him not wanting to sign with a label, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he used
And
to
about,
eat curly fries.
Yeah, about I used to be homeless. I
GLC
was
will be
sleeping in my
explain
dusty
the whole
motor.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. I was like, dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, he was sleeping in a car with 5 dudes in tracksuits.
Oh, that's the scene from the other guys, 30 Mike and the boys. Wait, remember? That's a great
You
movie.
cracked yourself up on that one.
I'm sorry. I
I
love that
felt
movie.
like I was already laughing with you. I was like, wait, I ain't even started laughing yet.
I don't know, man. Yo, Other Guys is an underrated movie. You ain't seen it. Check it out.
Yeah, I haven't seen Other Guys.
Oh, man.
Oh, it's good. They really pulled a fast one with the trailers. I thought
Come on, man.
look, man, I thought The Rock and Samuel L. were gonna be in it the whole time.
Don't spoil it.
It's been like 10 years.
All right, you're right. That's fair.
You've had time. I feel
We
nothing.
got the GOAT, Michael Keaton, in there. You
Yeah.
forget how funny he is.
Yeah, he's great. I saw somebody say Michael Keaton should be in a Batman Beyond movie as old Batman, and I feel like I agree.
That would be crazy.
I think that would be dope.
Yeah, we need to get Ben Affleck out of here.
Yeah.
So,
He was
I'm for
regular
it.
Batman, so like,
it makes sense.
Bring it
But
back.
now he's already in MCU. It's the whole thing. I don't want to get into it.
well, I mean, so is Deadpool. Ryan, what's his fucking
Ryan
name?
Reynolds?
Ryan Reynolds, yeah.
Who was he?
He was Green Lantern, or he's Deadpool and he was Green Lantern.
No, the
So-
old Green Lantern don't count no more. He killed him in the after credits.
Okay. What about Michael B. Jordan, Human Torch, and
he was in
Killmonger?
Fan Four Stick.
Fox just got sold to Disney. That shit's all gone now. Next. All right.
Okay.
We got, you know what? I have a tendency to lean into the nerd stuff. A little too
And
much.
I've been told
No,
that I nerd shame, so I just
I was waiting.
kept
I was
quiet.
waiting.
No,
I feel like
I was
both.
trying to
You know
think
what?
of one.
'Cause I
I
want
was
you to
like,
know, I got the purple devil emoji just at the ready right now.
oh,
That's-
Halle Berry. She was
Who is she?
Catwoman and Storm.
Ooh,
that don't cross universes.
that's not the MCU technically. I guess now
It ain't
yeah.
DCEU.
You gonna
it
say
ain't MCU.
Fantastic Four, but I can't say X-Men. All right.
He
Yeah,
already-
no, I fucked up. I fucked up on that.
What is your favorite and least favorite Kanye song?
I wanted to say Get 'Em High was my favorite, but
Okay,
I think it might be No Church in the Wild.
interesting.
I just love Frank Ocean. I think I love anything Frank Ocean is on.
The dream is the best part of the song. In the city, desire. And when Hov roasted him at the Grammys,
What are you doing at the Grammys?
it's like, he got his outfit at the swap meet. The dream was like, "This is my first Grammy." I just want to thank my mom. But the dream did have on some bullshit. It was hilarious. Hope with your 20 Grammys ago that, yo, he got his outfit at the swap meet.
I gotta look that up now. All right.
Damn.
Sorry, least favorite song.
Kanye's Workout Plan.
Do, 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 do,
Oh,
do, do,
I don't like that shit.
do, 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 do. Meow.
I just
Without
don't
that-
like it.
I know it. Yeah, I don't know.
It's abrasive. It's like
abrasive.
I don't know. It just
Without
doesn't
that,
feel
that
right.
homeless man would, he'd have one less hit.
I don't know. I mean, I think maybe
A studio homeless man. Stormzy was homeless for real, but that guy
Yeah.
that pretends to be homeless.
The dude that does the Bernie Mac impression. That dude.
No, that's
What?
D-Ray.
Well, that's D-Ray Davis.
He's
Oh,
always
right.
working. No, I'm talking about Jermaine.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's because I just accept it as a silly song.
Yeah.
And
Maybe.
I mean,
It
you
just felt
can't.
weird.
Free 99 is something that I've used so much in my life. I don't think I can
Free
deny
99.
it. Free 99.
Did that? I feel like that existed before that. Though.
Sorry. I don't know. It is.
No,
It
it's
is.
like
It is a ridiculous song.
it's
but
a lot. Like
But
in
I'm
the
like,
middle
y'all
of
put
a
so
dope
much
album.
work into this.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
put work in. I mean, I feel like it's a commercial parody, but it's such a good song that it became a single.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's kind of like remarkable that Spaceships is not the final single. The final
Yeah.
single is Workout Plan.
Yeah.
But
It just feels like a sketch on any other album.
yeah, but it's such a sharp turn, and then people were playing it. I don't know. It was
Yeah.
I get
It just
why-
felt weird to me.
I get why you don't
know?
like it. I get
Yeah.
why it felt weird, but I think it felt weird for
We've had
all
a few
of us.
people say that.
And
Huh?
it's
That they don't like workout plan
Yeah.
anymore.
I get it, but at the same time, when someone tells me to double clap, I just do it. That's right. Put in work. Eat your salad. No dessert. Come on, man.
Any do you feel like we made enough of a connection here that maybe you guys
maybe.
might want to squash any previous beef?
I never had a
Look, I don't
problem
know
with
if there-
Doye.
I don't know if there's a beef to squash.
I feel like we've accrued some positive energy over the last hour.
I think we have. I feel good about what we've done.
Yeah,
about the
man.
work
Yeah,
we've done.
when we started, I was like, did I make a mistake? And now I
Well,
feel
yeah, but no, it worked out in a positive way. I feel
it worked out. Now what's the plan?
Yeah, I'm all
Yeah,
about
man.
empathy now.
Hey, man.
You what?
I'm all about empathy now. So
It's too late for all that lovey-dovey shit. I'm your brother shit.
purple demon emoji.
Doye, you got anything you want to plug before you get out of here?
Yeah, I definitely do. I have a podcast that Rob has been on.
May have heard about it.
It's called Dark Tank. It's very fun. I make white people solve black people problems.
And make black people uncomfortable in the process.
Look, I'm sorry, that's not how most of them go down.
It's not your fault. It's Don C's fault.
If Don C was around,
if Don C was around, he could have stopped the whole
thing.
I wouldn't have did the podcast. You know, it's Don C's fault. A lot of the stuff that happened in the last few months is Don C's fault.
Well, hey, if you want to come back on the podcast, you're welcome anytime.
I have to. You know what? I have to ask Don C.
Okay, Chris, if you want to come on anytime, you're welcome.
I mean,
look,
make sure I know the topic first.
Yeah, look.
Nah, I'm ready. I'll do it.
Okay. I'll hit you up.
And if all goes poorly, we'll just have you back on. It'll be my turn.
Great. Yeah. Plenty of beef to go around.
Anything else?
Yeah, I got a half-hour special coming out on Epix, Unprotected Sets, a show produced by Wanda Sykes and
Dope.
Paige Hurwitz.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Shout out to Wanda Sykes and Paige Hurwitz. That were producers on Last Comic Standing. I think I'm not contractually allowed to talk about that show, but shout out to them. They're great.
I feel like you're probably beyond the NDA.
I don't read contracts.
Doesn't matter. Anyway,
throwing contracts at me. You know that you can't read.
Anyway, that comes out October 5th.
Dope, man.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Robbie, got anything?
No. If you don't like hearing me over the phone, I'm gonna be over the phone for a while because I'm gonna be in LA living my best life. But just know that it's for something great, and stay tuned. Keep your eyes and ears peeled. That's what Raekwon said to me one time.
All right. I'm gonna be at Laugh Factory in Chicago, September 8th, and the following weekend, the 14th, 15th, I'll be at the Showcase in Ann Arbor. So check that out. And that's it. Yedoye, thanks, man.
Hey,
we're going to let you finish, but this has been the Kanye West podcast. The number one Kanye West podcast, The Book of Ye.
I'm not going to argue that
Shout
point.
out to Watching the Throne.
Shout out Watching the Throne. We got some disagreements about some Trump shit, but it's all good. All right, everybody. Peace.
Forever Dog.
This has been a Forever Dog production. Executive produced by Brett Boehm, Joe Cilio, and Alex Ramsey. For more original podcasts, please visit foreverdogpodcasts.com and subscribe to our shows on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Keep up with the latest Forever Dog news by following us on Twitter and Instagram @ForeverDog.